Hey guys, so it's been a little while since I've put anything up here. I got a little busy in the last couple of months, but I just wanted to go over something before I get into my crochet tutorials and my other crafting tutorials. So I just wanted to go over something that I didn't learn before I started crocheting, and it was what you're looking at when you're looking at a yarn label. So this particular yarn is the Caron Cakes Cotton Cakes. The color is, that's not the color. The color is Calico Flowers. And this is just information that I never learned when I learned how to crochet. I never learned what to look for when I'm looking at it. So I just want to go over that in this video, and then I'll start putting up some tutorials. So this is considered a medium weight. So you'll hear a lot about yarn weight. So this is a 4. So the yarn weight starts at 1 and it's very, very fine. And then it goes up to, the biggest I've seen is 7, which is considered jumbo. This is a 4. So it's, and every brand will have, you know, differences. They can categorize it the same weight, but it will look a little different. I think this is a lighter 4, maybe more of a 3, but they characterize it as a 4. It is 60% cotton, 40% acrylic, 530 yards. Now, if you look over here, this is what I never paid attention to. So you always know your yardage for the project. The patterns will usually tell you how many yards you need, and it'll tell you what what type of yarn was used in the project. But then you look at things like this, right? This we're gonna ignore because that's for knitting. So you know that it's knitting when it's the 2 needles. The crocheting is when it's just the 1 hook. And you're gonna see that the recommended crochet size is a 5 millimeter. And then they're showing 10 by 10 centimeters, 4 by 4 inches, 14 SC. So what does all that mean? So let me explain. Okay, so the 5 millimeter hook, I actually don't have a 5 millimeter hook to show you with. I think I'm using it in my other project, or it grew legs and disappeared. So what that means is the recommended hook size, if you can see it there, for this yarn would be a 5, but I'm just showing you the 6 so you know what to look for in your crochet hooks when you're shopping. And there's also, mine's kind of rubbed off. You'll also see it by letters. So you see here it says US H//H, and then 5 millimeters. So that's what that means. But you would obviously want to get a 5 millimeter for this yarn. Now this will change because it depends on your tension. As a new crocheter, I had a very tight tension, so I did learn in time to use the bigger hook than what was recommended. Now I've gotten pretty good with my tension, and I can usually get away with using the recommended hook size. If you tend to crochet tight, you want to go up a hook, and they do go by 0.5 millimeters. So the next size up would be a 5.5. If you're a loose crocheter, you'd want to go down a hook size. Now, another way to test your gauge and to know whether you're a tight or a loose crocheter is to look at this box here. This is called the swatch, right? So what it's telling you is 14 single crochet, SC is single crochet, and 17 rows, right? If you do that, will give you a 4 by 4 inch square. That's what that means. So if you're using a 5 millimeter hook for this yarn and you do 14 single crochets and 17 rows and your tension is just right, you should get a 4 inch by 4 inch square. Now, I personally have never done swatches. I just don't do them. I was never taught to do them. I never saw them instructed in tutorials, so I've never done one. But when you're doing things like clothing, you're gonna want to do it because it will matter. You do want to get your swatch right. You do want to get your tension right. So I think that's that. And this is my little collection of hooks that I've amassed. Sorry, I just knocked my table. My phone's moving. I keep them in this little container. I got it all on Amazon. Some of the hooks I bought from Michael's. Most of them I bought in a kit from Amazon. It also came with the sewing needles to weave your ends in, and a few oh gosh, what are these called? Stitch markers, that's what it's called. Stitch markers. I don't use stitch markers very often anymore. I did a lot as a beginner for counting. But that's it. That's really going to be important when you're looking at projects and you're learning how to read patterns. This yarn does come with a pattern. I did buy 2 balls, so you see here 2 balls, right? And it's free pattern on the label, and Sunset Dreams Crochet Shawl. So I am going to make this, and I'll post a tutorial on it when I'm ready to do that. But this is really important stuff when you're shopping for yarn. You want to really get familiar with this and know what kind of hooks you have and what your tension is like. So if you're a new crocheter and your tension, you know, you don't think that you can really use the right kind of hook with what it says on the label, just know where your tension is at, and then you can adjust as you go. You can always do your swatches. Make sure you're looking at the crochet swatch and not the knitting swatch, because you'll see it's different with knitting. Knitting, it's 20 stitches and 26 rows. So we want to look at crochet, which is 14 single crochets and 17 rows. So that's it for today. Just hang on to this video if you ever need a refresher. And I'm going to start posting tutorials now that I'm a little less busy. So hope you guys have a great day. Bye.